See, that's Friday energy. The last time we did this panel last year, it was Monday energy, so it was more just like an exhausted, woo. Welcome to Voice Acting for Video Games, The Audition. Thank you. This is the first PowerPoint I've made in 10 years. We're going to do some quick introductions. We'll just go down the line with names, pronouns, and what we're known for. My name is Raiha. My pronouns are he, him. I've sung and voiced a handful of different characters for Steam games, including Midair, The American Dream, as well as Ambition, A Minuet in Power.
Hi, my name's Meagan, she, her pronouns, and at least right now, I'm primarily known for some audiobooks on Audible.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abie Ekenezar. I go by they, them. I think my biggest thing was Audrey from ElfQuest. Most of the stuff that I do now are like radio dramas with John Patrick Lowry.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hello, I am Katherine Tole. My pronouns are she, they, and most of the video games that I'm in are on Steam, but I always forget every single one of their names every time I'm asked this question. So I'm not going to tell you about those, but I'm also a dialogue editor, and I edit all of the Jackbox games. So everybody should get really excited about the Naughty Pack, because it is so good.
What you say it's naughty?
I have never felt more rewarded in my career as editing the dialogue from those games, and you'll see why. Some of them were too much at 10 a.m. in the morning. But what else am I saying?
Oh, that's it.
Cool.
You're good.
You're cut off. I'm Matthew Parham. My pronouns are he, him. I am best known as the Director of Operations for the National Association of Voice Actors. Hey, we got some fans, all right. As far as work I've done, a lot of commercial work, Nike, DSW, Captain America, and a few Marvel properties. And I'm going to stop talking now.
Oh.
Hello.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm Keith Houston, and I go by he, him, and pronouns, and I'm mostly known for games on a lot of indie games on Steam. This end of the month, we've got the Holy Gosh Darn coming out by Perfectly Paranormal. Well, I get to reprise one of my favorite characters I did, who's a very silly little Irish goblin.
Mike Cobbles.
Mike Cobbles, but yeah, it's part of the Tuesday trilogy. If you played Helheim Hassel, they're funny games. And I got a couple things coming out I can't talk about, but I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
So, follow me and find out.
Just a small little pointer is that Richard Sloniker couldn't join us here today, so in case you're looking up at my friend Matthew Parham and you're like, that's not the guy who voiced Glint in Destiny 2, I literally asked him 4 hours ago, you want to be on a voice panel? And he was super game for it. I'm really excited.
I sent the invoice, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'll pay you in Bitcoin.
Wait, he's getting paid?
He's getting paid.
I know.
And hugs. This is going to be...
That's one.
A totally non-chaotic voice panel, I can tell. Show of hands, who here is an active or in-training voice actor? Show of hands. Welcome. You are at the right panel. Jackbox After Dark doesn't happen for another 4 hours. So we usually like to do a general Q&A and a voice acting 101, but we want to do something a little bit different here, because where a lot of people get caught up with, especially with the availabilities of them now, is voice acting in the actual audition. So you'll notice, very last minute, I pasted on Sam Watson from Stargate Timekeepers. That's Matthew over there.
Thank you.
We voiced every single one of these characters. So talking about auditions for video games themselves. They are important, they are exciting, they are scary, they are everywhere if you know where to look for them. Most union voice actors, like Matthew over there, they usually get calls through their agents, or they might see a listing and go, hey, agent, see me for this. Most non-union voice actors get them through their agents or through casting directors, voiceover casting sites, both free and pay-to-play with a subscription, as well as Twitter accounts, subreddits, and so on. A quick, just open discussion for the panel. No, anybody, in whatever order you want, what is your individual relationships to the dreaded audition? What does it mean to you? You know, the thing.
2 hours of self-loathing before I get into the booth.
Standard.
Usually it's a good one. That's when you know you're a voice actor. Well, I mean, it's getting the copy and understanding kind of where, why, who, what, where. I'll ask all the questions and make sure you know what kind of game it's for.
Yeah, helpful.
So,
Yeah.
because everything has its own style. Just reading through the notes and then crumpling it up and throwing it away and going for what you got. Yeah.
Knowing that anything that you ever do after you submit your audition is always going to be better.
And you direct and cast sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your relationship is like most relationships in your life. It changes. Sometimes I love auditioning. Sometimes I hate auditioning. But understanding that auditioning is the job. Like, yeah, you have to get booked and go into the studio and do all the fancy stuff, but really hitting the salt mines looks like going into your little padded cell and sweating for hours on end doing auditioning. And sometimes you love it, but sometimes you just really loathe it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Wow, encouraging, right?
On that
It's
note,
good. That's okay.
So normally
up
we
and
just
down.
have like a 20 to 25 minute discussion about the craft, but I want to do something a little more fun and unique for this particular year. So bear with me, if you will. I want you to imagine some high fantasy music that we couldn't secure the rights to for this panel. Perfect, that's it, that's it. Yeah, we're not going to get flagged for that on Twitch.
Can we do
Okay.
fantasy harmonica?
There it is. There it is. All right, let me set the tone here. We begin in a time long forgotten, the year 2025. You are a hero of the realm. Correction, you are voice actors of the realm. More so, you are successful voice actors of the realm.
Wow.
You have a handful of video characters under your belt, a few roles you are renowned for, but as of late, there is nothing. A dry spell with no jobs, no callbacks, not even an availability check. And after much waiting and waiting and waiting, suddenly you receive a message. Da-da-da-da. It's an email from your agent. Or maybe you don't have an agent. Maybe you just got a good lead off of a Discord or something.
But still.
Yeah. And the subject reads, Union video game casting, quick turnaround, due ASAP. Why are you still reading the subject line? Open the damn email.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yep.
You read on. So you see that this email is an audition for a AAA gaming company, a fantasy Western RPG. And the working title is Baldur's Age Scrolls of Warcraft.
Cool.
Now you see that the pay, because it's union, is SAG-AFTRA scale, which, after the great video game actors strike of 2024 against unfair AI usage, you know the rate to be $1 million for 4 hours of a recording session.
Let's go.
Your
Please don't
agent...
sue us.
Thank you. I'm hilarious. Your agent or Discord buddy makes a little comment below, and they say, recording is 10 a.m. Monday. Please submit by 6 p.m. Friday, which is, I believe it's 51 minutes from now. So you search through, well, what's interesting, too, is that a lot of people would think that with this much money on the line, that there might be a little more breathing room for the talent auditioning for these things, but every single one of us can assure you this happens all the time in real life. I skipped a bunch ahead. Okay.
Could you have actually added a trigger warning for this for us, please? I mean,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to check
my
everybody's
anxiety is
triggers.
already. Stop it.
All right. Anyway, you search through all the different characters on the audition sheet, and you find one that fits you best. You, armed only with your microphone, hopefully a quiet place to record, must bring these characters to life in now 50 minutes. Now, PAX Westerners, normally I would just choose what's the order according to seating or whatever as to in what order they're going to read off of the script that we've prepared for them. But since we're celebrating 20 years of PAX, why don't we decide their fate with a 20-sided die? So if you lift up your cups, if you would all please lift up your cups, roll the D20 dice underneath, that's not going to roll it properly. Lift it up and roll it.
I'm a
And
voice
hold-
actor.
Do you not know how to roll a dice?
Children.
I'm just having myself a little tipple, if you don't mind.
All right. Everybody hold on to your numbers as I explain. We tried to secure an actual AAA game audition script, but they all have NDAs and confidentiality behind them. So myself, Meagan, and a few of our writing friends, we actually came up with a script just for PAX West for this year. That's in the style of a AAA Western RPG, like a Baldur's Gate or a Skyrim. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. No, let's just, I believe, yep, that's what it is. Let me start by getting numbers. I do not have a pen, so I'm going to hopefully hold on to this. Keith, what you got?
6.
6, cool.
Yes.
Matthew?
6.
6. Guys, you guys both roll off while I get other numbers. Roll again. Thank you. Catherine, what you got?
6 times 3.
6 times 3, 18. Cool. And Meagan.
13.
Okay.
No, we have a roll off.
So Catherine goes first.
No, there's Matt got.
No, we're getting new numbers here. So Catherine, Meagan, and then what do you guys have?
Go first.
8.
Yep.
8?
18.
18. Okay, so actually we're going to go Catherine, Meagan, Matthew, Keith.
Cool.
I'm going to remember that.
Okay.
So the other thing I want to show you guys is that normally when you get an audition script through the many different sources, it's going to look something like this. I figured we'd make it look a little more thematic, and hopefully everybody can read it properly, and we're going to show our scripts like this. Let's see, we are starting off with Catherine, and you have Lola. Okay, so what you're going to see here is you're going to see the character name up at the top. You're going to see basically a tagline description of them right down below. A further in detail description kind of explaining their personality and their different motivations. And then over to the right, there's more of the specs as to what we're looking for with the character in terms of ethnicity, gender, age range, and so forth. And there's a voice comp down below to say this is the vibe that the client is looking for this character. Some of us got this up to a week in advance. Matthew got it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And that sometimes does happen. So we appreciate you being on board.
Cold reads.
The cold reads, yes. So, Catherine, do you have any questions about Lola?
I wouldn't normally.
Okay, fair enough. Let's just give a run at it and see what you do with it. They're going to stand up for this.
Stand up. Can we have this one on?
Is it?
Is it on?
Yeah.
Hello.
There
Okay,
it is.
there we go.
All right.
Is it gonna?
Yes. Support your voice actors. Thank you.
We said Friday energy.
Friday energy! Fake audition, let's go!
This is not gonna work that way.
Yeah, yes, that's all I want.
Let me
You want me to hold it for
The other thing I should mention,
Engineering.
Engineering. If you see a picture and it has the name above it of an artist, that means that was drawn by an actual person and not an AI prompt. Because this was all a pro bono picture, I know I speak for novice here when I say if there's a profit involved or you're doing a game for fun, get a real person to tell your story and to write your art, not an AI.
Heck yeah.
When you are ready, Catherine.
Oh, my engineering failed. Thank you.
Welcome.
I have a live script holder. All right. All part of the plan, darling. Oh, mind the explosion.
Okay. Okay,
Gotta keep going here. Gotta go. All right. I know I'm not who you wish I was, but aren't you just the teensiest bit happy to see me? Oh, please, put down the sword before you hurt yourself.
Great, let's keep rolling.
I haven't read these yet. Dangerous job.
Number 3.
Telling Sadie to wait before they go out on a dangerous job. Okay. And why shouldn't we have a bit of fun, gorgeous? Look around. The richest get richer and the poor get more desperate by the second. As just as quickly does beauty fade from this world. So let's have a song, a drink, and a few moments of good flirtatious company before all hells break loose.
Great.
Woo!
Lovely, lovely work. I forgot to ask you the main question, which is, how do you like to get ready for these sort of last-minute auditions like this?
Panic.
Panic? Always, always panic.
Get really sad. No. Auditioning, I'm just going to be honest, is my least favorite part of this job. I know it is the job, but it does happen to be my least favorite part. And I get in my head, I get really worried. I think, oh, they're not going to pick me anyway. Why should I even try this? Someone else probably deserves this job more than me. So I go through all of that first. And then I sit there and I hug my bear. And I try and think of actions. I like to think of, during this line, what am I actively doing? Which is so nice to have this kind of microphone, because when you're doing it like this, you can kind of do all that stuff, but you kind of still have to be on mic the whole time. So this is not completely representative of what this audition would be like, but I was running, and then I was trying to avoid something. I was hanging out on a chair, trying to be a little bit seductive. Maybe we're in a bar setting. And then for the third one, we're just sitting down having a chat. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's really important to have those action sounds, because that will make your audition stand out and really help bring that character to life, even if it doesn't get used in the final game. Knowing who it is that you're talking to on these lines, that's always really good. Let's just do a couple little jeux and do one more read of it. Yeah. Let's get really sing-songy with it. We're thinking Bayonetta, we're thinking like Mary Poppins, that sort of vibe. Okay. We want that sort of sing-songy with it, and then maybe a nervous laugh either before or after Mind the Explosions. But let's keep that huffing and puffing like you're running away from it. Go ahead.
All part of the plan, darling. Oh, mind the explosion.
Good. For the second line here, let's have a little more excited energy and then drop it as if like, I am so done with you and your ridiculous sword thing. So just be like, come on, you can't stay mad at me. Even a little more energy, and then completely drop it out like, no, seriously, stop it.
All right, I know I'm not the one you wish I was, but aren't you just the teeniest bit happy to see me? Oh, please, put down the sword before you hurt yourself.
Wonderful adjustment. And for this final line, can we just imagine that Lola, they're like 2 or 3 cups into wine, and the other person, Sadie, is just saying like, can you please just sober up so we can do this damn job? Imagine that's your before line, and you're still pouring the wines and you're still sipping away, just done with it all. Go ahead.
And why shouldn't we have a bit of fun, gorgeous? Look around. The richest get richer and the poor get more desperate by the hour, the second. And they get more desperate by the second. It's just as quickly does beauty fade from this world. So let's have a song, a drink, and a few moments of good, flirtatious company before all hells break loose.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I had to go first, and I got an 18.
Oh, I know.
When did you think a 1 would go first?
The opposite of what it actually is. And I would like to point out, Katherine, that you are really good about saying, I audition when I need to audition, but you're more about direct contact and making sure you have a good rapport, and your reel is always out there, so that people can just say, you know what? I think you're going to give exactly everything that we need. Do you want a job? It's a rarity, but it's great when it happens.
I do a lot of direct networking and emailing and there's so many ways to get jobs in this entire world, and auditioning is just one of them. So it is the one I focus on the least, but there's a lot more I can talk about all of that and online casting and so many things. So
Great. Let's go over to Meagan now. As you notice, these little numbers of the lines, they're not all the same scene. And you will get that sometimes, where sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get a description as to what the character's doing. But sometimes, even for AAA games, you just get, this is the line, make everything else up. And that's always a tricky thing, is to like make those strong decisions there. Abie, would you mind directing Meagan for this one?
I would love to.
Great. Okay, and of course you got the bigger lines on here. Do you want me to hold it?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'll hold it myself.
All right. So Meagan, besides sheer blinding panic, as we already discussed, how else do you like to prepare for these auditions?
I hydrate. No, I actually hydrate with water. Calm down. I try to take a second to read over everything as thoroughly as I can without getting too in my head about it, because if I sit and stare at it, then the ADHD takes over. I've been trying to incorporate some nuggets of wisdom from Troy Baker, which is looking at auditions like meetings. You're presenting your interpretation, your version of the character, and saying, does this work? And if they say yes, you move forward. And if they say no, you move on. And that's been surprisingly helpful for me personally, just removing that, like, I have to be good. It's like, here's what I got. What do you think? And if they say yes, awesome. I'm validated. If they say no, I pick up a different project.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, whenever you're ready, give it a read.
Look, the dwarves who raised us thought they were doing us a favor, a big freaking act of charity. But no matter whose face I wear, I am still an outsider. They still know I'm not really one of them. With Carlisle, I can be whoever I want to be, and no one is the wiser. Hells, it makes us better spies, but then you show up, and you make me feel vulnerable? And you want to take me back to Pride Scar to what, train the first ever all-women's legion? Are you insane? I think it's a great idea. And I hope it changes your city for the better. Lord Varys.
Good. Thanks, man.
Oh, who is your father? Because he's about to lose a son if you mouth off to me again. Where is the ledger?
Cool. Floor is yours, Abby.
Me? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I loved that. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more variation, especially in the first one. Sure. Well, I mean, actually the second one too. So the first one, I'm just feeling anger in those words, and I need more, right? Like she's pissed because all of these, all of these different things are going on, right? Yeah. So make it more angry. Go with it, right?
Okay.
Like we're not gonna scream into the microphone. But yeah, give it a little bit more anger. And then for the second one, I feel like it should be more that who is your father part is just way more unexpected. So maybe she's like a little bit more preppy, and then she goes into because he's about to lose, and give more attitude for that too,
Sure,
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Look, the dwarves who raised us thought they were doing us a favor, a big frickin' act of charity. But no matter whose face I wear, I am still an outsider. They still know I am not really one of them. But with Carlisle, I can be whoever I want, and no one is the wiser. Hells, it makes us better spies. And then you show up. And you make me feel vulnerable. And you want to take me back to Pride Scar? To what? To train the first ever all-women's legion? Are you insane? I think it's a great idea. And I hope it changes your city for the better. Lord Varys.
Yeah.
See how it goes better?
Yeah. Oh, who is your father? Because he's about to lose a son if you mouth off to me again. Where is the ledger?
Love it.
Yeah, of course.
Very nicely done, everybody. All right, Matthew. First off, any questions about this guy we're about to pull up?
Yeah, all the questions, because I just saw this for the first time.
The keeper.
The question is why?
Okay.
Why?
So enigmatic, far-off creature who like occasionally pops in, and they're like, "What do you want from us?" And you're like, "I'm just here to help you. What do you want?" He's a little eccentric. He's given off like Gandalf. Like Gandalf is both stoic, but also and ethereal, but also like he has these little like moments where he's quirky, and he's intriguing like that. And I think that also says so in like the voice comps that we have, but also similar to Morgan Freeman in Bruce Almighty and in the Lego Movie, where he's like, this is the path, this is the chosen, and then he just switches into, all right, you're gonna have to repeat that all back to me because I have no idea what you just said.
And can we talk a little bit about process, like you asked everyone
Yeah,
else?
absolutely. I want to ask you about that too. Yeah.
Because that brings up a really good point. These specs often don't make sense. And so the direction that he just gave me may seem paradoxical. Sometimes they don't go together. Sometimes the voice comps, Kate Blanchett and Morgan Freeman, don't have anything similar. So what you have to do is try to find the similarities between the specs, the voice comps, and then insert yourself in it. I can't be Morgan Freeman.
No.
I might be able to be Kate Blanchett, maybe.
Okay.
Possible. We'll work on that.
Yeah, enough white clothing. Okay.
But I can't. I have to do what I can do for the role. And I'm getting over a head cold. I'm a last-minute addition. I didn't get a chance to study this, but this is how it happens, right?
Yeah.
No matter what condition you're in, you have to do these auditions. You have to do the work. And often when you're doing a AAA game, it's all cold reading. I can't break an NDA. I almost got fired. Nope. But I just did a 5-hour session for the biggest game franchise. And when this game comes out next year, it will be the biggest game in the country.
It was My Little Pony.
It was. But because the game is so secretive, they don't send you the script ahead of time.
Yeah.
You can't study these lines. You can't prepare. And so you get into the session. They strap on the headgear. There's a camera literally strapped to your face. And then they pull up the script. And you have to deliver those lines, act them to perfection in real time for 5 hours. So this is the job. And so let's do it.
Absolutely. You got the lines. Whenever you're ready, give it a go.
I hear you. You're fine. They're like,
Quiet on set.
Quiet on set.
Thank you.
oh, good. You found it. Can I have it, please? Thank you. Yes, this will work swimmingly. Oh, it's nothing you need to worry about.
Keep it on.
It's Varys. Things are occurring presently. Things greater than I think you can fully appreciate. But for now, I suggest you focus on that gaping chasm in your city. It's a bit spicy right now. Ta-ta. Yes, it's only fair at this point that I tell you, things are moving in the world that involve many more than just the two of you. But before I begin, let me ask, do you really know where that staff came from?
Really nice. Really nice. What you'll notice is that, we're on a bit of a time crunch here. We've only got an hour to get through all this and hopefully get a Q&A in, but he still took his time. He took his time to figure out, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is where I am in the scene, and making sure everything was in place so he could bring his best work forward. let's try this way. Let's imagine you are in the middle of reading another book, and this guy is just spouting off at you with a bunch of nonsense, and you're like, yeah, I know this, I know that. And he says, oh, and by the way, I found the book that you've been searching for 500 years. And then you're just like, huh? Oh, yeah, right. Please, yes, and thank you. Let's get a little more murmuring and mumbling about, yeah, no,
Okay.
and get really excited and then cut him off when he's just like, can I see? And you're just like, no, this is not for you, little boy. No.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Let's give it a go.
Oh, good, you found it. Can I have it, please? Thank you. Yes, this will work swimmingly. Oh, no. It's nothing you need to worry about.
Good. Secondly, let's imagine that there is a great catastrophe that's occurring in the greater cosmos, and this guy wants answers, but you're like, no, I'm going to deal with the big problem. I'm going to go to Dormammu. I'm going to go to Dormammu to bargain with the great cosmic being. You go deal with this giant chasm. It's pronounced chasm. In your city. Yeah. So.
Cold reading, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could be a choice.
He's an illiterate librarian.
You are.
choice.
Yeah. So you're packing up all your spell scrolls and all your weapons for fighting, and you're telling like, no, you play in your sandbox. Daddy's going to go to work.
Okay.
Let me get that vibe there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Varys, things are occurring presently, things greater than I think you can fully appreciate. But for now, I suggest you focus on that gaping chasm in your city. It's a bit spicy right now. Ta-ta.
Good. And for this last one real quick, imagine you've been talking to these two and you've been saying it over and over again, this is not your concern. This is much bigger than you, much greater than you, and you finally realize there's no other choice. You have to tell them the full story, including this magic staff is what it is, and to give you context, it's a magic staff that's over 1,000 years old, and it could destroy a continent. When you're ready.
Yes. It's only fair at this point that I tell you, things are moving in the world that involve many more than just the two of you. But before I begin, let me ask you, do you really know where that staff came from?
Really good. Thanks, buddy. Getting so far ahead. Let's switch over to Knicks. Keek. The New York Knicks.
Hey!
Abby, would you mind directing this ball of chaos as well?
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about your process past the 2 hours of dread.
Chaos, that's all it is, pure chaos. No, I've been at this for a while, and I've actually had to, you always keep learning. You always keep kind of like trying to find the process, right? And lately I've been experimenting with letting chaos reign, and the idea that I've been, if you're familiar with how tabletop role-playing games work, I'm sure most of you are, how you roll up a character and you find traits and you find attitudes, and I have been playing with randomness. I have been kind of saying, you know what, I'm gonna say, there, 7 equals whatever emotion. I'm gonna try that. Because for me, I realize having an external thing has really been helping me, A, make it more playful, B, more interesting to myself because it sparked something in my imagination, and C is a letter that follows B. And so, I don't know what's going with that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been really playing with, because I suffer from analysis paralysis. I have ADHD, so it's like hard for me to grab on something. I suck at self-direction. I can say that honestly and truly. But this way, I've been kind of finding a way to find ways to trigger my creativity and my imagination. So I just want to say, like, try whatever you can. Find it. You know, find what you can. If it's just in your body, if it's a prop, if it's music you're listening to while you're auditioning, just try it out. So that's something I've been playing with recently. So
Great, great. So yeah, Abby, Keith, when you're ready, it's a good read.
So, how was your date with the Balgura? Huh? Oh, what is a pest? Was it a date, or was it just a friendly hang? Huh? Oh, no. I'm just curious about logistics. Like, how does that go?
PG-13 panel, but very nice. Keep going.
We're 13 plus still, right? Okay,
13
good.
plus, 13 plus.
13 plus.
Okay, you see a bathhouse we can't afford to get into, Bells. Thank you. I see a bathhouse we can sneak into for a free trial. Rope, thank you. To determine interest in future patronage. Win-win, right? Weasel, thank you. Off you go, little one. Give him hell.
Way back on the mic.
You picked the wrong day to mess with the fame, Bucko 9. Filino, Bono, Sinead! Oh, shite, it didn't work. Run!
Abby, your thoughts?
So everyone has to remember that we do not see actions. We are literally just listening to voices. And I don't know how many people have gotten this before. I've only gotten it once. I don't have anything to
No notes?
correct you with. No notes.
No notes.
Literally,
I made a mess.
I don't think we should tweak perfection.
I know.
No. We honestly, and I think it's good for us to say it's a good one and done because I'd love to get to some questions here. Can I first off?
Tell me,
Can I
shut
first
the hell
off,
up.
from the enforcers or from AV, can I get a mic stand at one of these alleyways if possible? Oh, there are mic stands. Are there mic stands and mics?
Oh.
I don't know. I think I see them. We're going to figure this out momentarily. And I would love to ask all of you, if we had the time with all of these, to discuss about what it is that you noticed, but I'd love to point out a few things, and panel, feel free to chime in. We did not stay verbatim to the script. We tried to, but there were lots of little ad-libs, some big ad-libs. There were effort sounds. It was a meeting to say, this is my interpretation of the character, and these are the big, bold choices I'm making for this character. Yeah. What was that? Just have them line up right over there. Great. What we can do is we can discuss this as if you want to ask any questions for Q&A, feel free to line up over to this side of me, follow the enforcer, and we will be handing the handheld mic down the line to ask the questions.
There's a mic down there.
Is there anything else, panel?
Working, or is
Is there anything else, panel, that we noticed that was really important and essential that made for a good standout audition for the process?
Movement. I will tell people over and over again, I'll tell you in my class, that when you are doing an audition, you have to move your body. It is so hard to stand in front of a microphone and not have any movement. It is really important because it's a part of you, just as your voice is, and so making sure that you're doing what feels comfortable for you is going to make your voice comfortable also.
Mm-hmm. I would say that, we live in our booths, these, phone booth size things, and,
Mine isn't a phone booth,
I was gonna
it's
say
way
that.
bigger.
I get it. Yeah. So we have these space stations that we audition in.
A TARDIS, if you will.
It's a TARDIS, thank you.
It's a TARDIS, thank you. Some of you, whatever, regardless of size, you basically are in a thing and there's enclosed and there's soundproofing and all that, and you have to close your eyes and be like, okay, I'm on a battlefield. There's sound, there's sensation. So really, it's interesting. I just want to point out how when you had us read, you said, now go, or go.
Yeah.
But on set, when you're on a movie set, what do they say? They say action. So think of that when you're auditioning. Like when you put that line, like get it in your head, get your sensation, and then in yourself say action, boom, go, right? Don't you know, it just it get less of a soft landing and you know, you just jump.
And emotion, like it's not just reading words.
Yeah.
Your character is speaking. That means your character is compelled to speak. That means they feel an emotion.
Yeah.
So isolating that emotion, it could be a big emotion, it could be small, but it could be annoyance, it could be love, it could be anger, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be loud, but it has to be a choice of emotion.
And who are they talking to? And do you have a strong visual as to exactly who that person is?
Who, and also like who you're speaking to, who is speaking, and like who, what are you doing? Are you drinking? Are you moving? Where are you? Are you close to each other in a bar? Are you across the field? Are you walking? Like these actions, kind of, this setting helps shape and craft the sound of your voice.
Yeah.
What do you want? And what do they want?
Not only do you have an emotion, but the person you're talking to, you're trying to evoke something from that person. So
Right,
what
right.
emotion are you trying to evoke from that person you're talking to, I think is...
What do you want from them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have quite
All
a
right.
line. We have
a
Well, we
line.
got just about 20 minutes left. We're going to get through as many of these as we can, and we'll hopefully be able to answer some questions for you. If we don't get to your question before we finish, let's start at the top. When you're ready.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So you're talking about like ad-libbing and not necessarily having it be like a one-to-one with the script. How often are you submitting auditions that include ad-libbing or not necessarily having it one-to-one?
For characters all the time.
Confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one.
Yeah.
I would say that like ad-lib within sort of a reason, because like, you don't rewrite the entire script.
Yes.
Because somebody spent a lot of time writing that, and there's intent and purpose to it. But make it you, right? Make it something you would say, and it's great because you can always add stuff that maybe get you into the line as you're recording.
Yeah.
And maybe like, you know what, that's a little much. You just edit it out. But your intention that got you into the line that you're supposed to read is there. So, you know, do it enough to make it you and what you feel like you would say and how you would react, but try not to like rewrite the entire thing. You want to still respect the copy.
Or don't omit anything that is written.
Yeah.
Don't ad-lib your way out of the script.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. One of the biggest questions I wanted to ask is, whenever you're recording something, the voice as it sounds in your head will always be different from how it sounds in the recording when played back. And how do you reconcile that difference when you're recording for something?
I don't think there's a right voice.
Yeah.
No.
Like, if that's the voice that came out when you did that character, even if it was a little bit different in your head, like that is you. That came out of you.
I used to hate how I sound in real life, like recorded versus how I sound inside my own head.
Yeah.
And the reverberations of sound within my own voice. But I think with enough repetitions, it really just becomes natural where you go, I'm going to sound like this internally, and this is what it's going to come out in print and on the tape, and that's going to be exactly what I want. Yeah.
And focus less on the sound of your voice and more so what your voice is emoting.
If you have intention, that'll be what drives the sound.
You can sound cool and suck as an actor, and you won't get the job.
Thank you.
You had mentioned networking and emails and other things. How much would you recommend some of the pay-to-play websites like voices.com, Voices123?
We will have plugs later on, but go ahead.
Human.
We just teed this one up, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So I teach a course to help folks make more money on online casting sites, specifically Voice123. It is called v123pros.com. I personally am a big proponent of using online casting because I think that the more you can do to find your own clients and not have an interim person between, the better you can do to build those relationships, and then those people will refer you to other people. And with online casting sites, some of them like Voice123, you have your demos, you have your samples, the things that you've already done for work, you can put up those samples online, you can keyword them, and then casting directors can come and find you, message you directly, give you jobs without you having to do any more than your awesome demo that you made. And so that's been really important to me, is I put all of my love and energy and money and time into making really great demos, and then I have them up on a website, and then people can come to me. So I personally would say that it's a big part of my job and world in life, and I teach other people how to do that as well, because maybe there's other people that don't love auditioning.
Counterpoint, I say this as someone who has used your service, paid you for it, and benefited and booked my role with Stargate Timekeepers as Sam Watson online. So I say this as someone who agrees with you. You also want to make sure you're not a race to the bottom as far as wages. People will try to underpay you on these sites.
Yes.
They will try to take advantage of newer talent who's desperate for that credit or that role. And you also have no AI protections on those services.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend looking into the National Association of Voice Actors. Shameless self-plug. But we have an AI contract writer that you can add to any contract that you're dealing, so that it kind of provides some AI protections when you're dealing with these people that you don't have previous relationships on these platforms. So if you are going to be on these online casting platforms, please use the Nava AI writer to protect yourself. It works.
It works.
Yeah.
And what was your website again?
I think it's on the last slide.
Yeah, we're gonna, like in the final 2 minutes or 1 minute of the panel, I'm gonna have a website, that a slide that everybody can take a picture of to make sure we get all these sites that we're plugging for you here today.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
B123pros.com.
I love that jingle.
Unfortunately, you just basically answered my question. But it was about AI and how to protect yourself from it. So I guess I could come with a new question. So how do you practice voices and get out of your own comfort zone?
Tabletop role-playing
Yeah,
games.
we play D&D.
Yeah, we play D&D.
Are you a big reader? Do you like to read?
I suppose.
Yeah.
But I do play a lot of tabletop games.
Well, there you go. So read out loud as much as you can,
As
all
much
the
as you
time. Before you go to bed, when you get up, rule books, if you're learning a game, read it out loud. Read all the flavor text. Read it out loud. And put yourself, and you just start imagining. Just start saying, oh, this sounds like it would be a lofty thing, so I'm going to sound like this, reading, how to set up the board. I mean, things like that, right? Because what you're going to start learning is, your instrument. I really love counting things down with letters, don't I? Wait. You'll learn your instrument that way. You'll learn kind of where the tones, where the breaths can come in, but it'll get you comfortable with speaking out loud. And from there, you start to figure out how you can act and put that voice to something that's an emotional connection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering if someone wants to become a voice actor, where should they start?
Let's do this real quick. Show of hands, who here teaches voice acting in person or online? Cool. So you have us that if anybody wants to get in touch with us either through our socials or after the panel, we're happy to start you off with these are our rates. I do a free 15-minute consultation for anybody who's new to say these are the next steps. What I also have on one of these final slides is D. Bradley Baker's website, which is always a great start. It's literally iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. And it's great for people whether you're getting started or you're a seasoned person, you're what's next, or I am starting from scratch, what the hell do I do?
A lot of great research.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Skillshub.life also.
Skillshub.life.
Yeah, huge one. Yeah.
Hello. My question, you kind of touched on it, but when you're finding yourself looking for auditions, do you feel that less is more in terms of how you are putting yourself out there, or is it better to push yourself in many avenues as possible, whether it be putting out voice demos or trying to network or any particular path like that?
So just to clarify, you're not asking about volume of auditions, but you're saying which avenue of the business do I focus on first?
Exactly.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we're talking about those three branches of the technical side of things, the artistic side of things, and the business side of things.
Yeah, I mean, the business side, there's so many creative events in Washington State. You have the newest one, which is the M5 Mixer, and there's always producers and directors and all kinds of people that are there talking to each other that are just in the community. Either they're trying to find talent or whatever. And this is more if you've, already set yourself up and you're in the place that you can do that. I'm a part of that. I'm also a part of Women in Film. And, you know, we always have people who are looking for VO work for corporate shoots or, you know, commercials or anything. So if you look up like any film or creative related stuff, especially like, you know, on Facebook, there's a crapola of groups that are out there where it's really easy for you to kind of get yourself in the space. Literally next week, yep, because I'm gone, the Seattle Film Summit is happening, and they have this theme now where they're doing the creative economy. And so that is a whole like weekend networking event where you can meet high-end people from LA and all around Washington and Vancouver, Canada. That'll give you an opportunity to kind of just meet people, network, and kind of show off what you already are doing.
Yeah. And I want to make sure this question is answered. I think we're talking about, do we like kind of do it all at the same time, build up those pillars at the same time, business, technical, and artistic, or do we do things like we make sure that our booth is ready and that we've got good acting chops before we start saying to everybody, I'm a voice actor?
I would hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, don't build a booth until you've taken acting classes and you know that you love this. Like, it's expensive to get into this world.
Yeah, and don't build a booth. I mean, there's so many places here, like the Seattle Voice Academy and Freehold, where you can just go and use their booth for free.
Yep.
So, or Seattle Voice, I think is $30. But
Yeah,
it's not
but also
expensive.
for our Twitch subscribers out there, if there is always if you're in a major metropolitan market, look to the places there where you can record easy and where you can take cheap classes. And there's so much available online now.
Yeah. And for demos, it's also really important that you don't make a demo until a coach has told you that you are ready. And please run away if anyone promises you to make you a demo at the end of a class, because that is not a good deal.
Unless
I made
it's
that
me.
mistake.
Hey.
There should never be if you do X and pay me money, I will make you a demo. That's a big red flag.
Yep.
Because you don't want to make that demo until you're ready. If you do so, then later you're going to just look back and realize you waste a lot of money because you weren't ready to start working.
I usually do a free demo for my students based on the auditions that I let them do in class. So.
Thank you.
I think we have time for maybe 2 more questions, but again, if your question isn't getting answered, come talk to us afterwards.
Yeah.
Hi, so I'm a developer. I think probably a lot of other folks here are also game developers in addition to having an interest in voice.
Hi.
Hi. I am curious, from the audition provider standpoint, if you have anything that you recommend that people hosting auditions as voice actors that you would want people to do to make the audition process better.
Oh my God. That's a loaded question.
As someone who also hates auditions and wants to not cause people to have terrible audition experiences. So do you have any tips on that?
Still my beating.
Have a director. Oh my God.
Short turnaround window, because I see a lot of auditions on Twitter for non-union, and they say like, oh, submit in the next 6 weeks. And then 2 days later they go, we didn't know we'd get so many auditions by posting on Twitter. So a quick turnaround, be really specific with the specs of the individuals you're looking for and the rate and everything like that. That'll really help to just, and find some casting directors and agencies and work through them to find non-union talent.
Yeah.
And pictures are so helpful.
Yes.
You have no idea how helpful a picture of a character is. There's so much we can learn and gain from just like, where is their mouth? What is it doing? What are their eyeballs? Oh, I can do something fun with that.
Phrasing, so much phrasing.
Yeah.
And consider authentic casting when you actually do that too.
Authentic casting.
Yeah.
Authentic casting.
Yes.
Yeah, and even in the specs, don't say like Paul Rudd but black. Like that makes no sense. And it's offensive. Like just find someone that is an approximation of what you're looking for and be specific with your request.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's people out there, so.
Yeah.
And if you need one more thing about rates, I think GVAA.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Industry standard rates, please.
Yeah. That'll we all follow that. Whenever we quote rates, we quote from that because that's the industry standard, and that's what we like to see. Thanks.
$250 an hour, non-union.
Yeah, for non-union.
For non-union.
For non-union.
Okay, last question. Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank Matthew. I came out here last year, and you helped me. I know.
Yo, what's up?
You gave me some great advice, and you helped me get my first commercial agency. So
Hey, listen to me, people. Listen to me. He knows what he's talking about. Nah, respect. Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And my question is, when it comes to doing the audition, do you guys do much with the technical side of it? Do you do editing? Are you cutting out the voice clicks, or are you okay with some level of error in there?
It's not error, it's your lovely human voice.
Yeah.
I don't like it. As just saying, you know, because a lot of the times you have other people that are working to clean up their audio and everything. Obviously, don't use noise remover or noise reduction because that's annoying. But you know, for those people who like they record and then you visibly hear them taking breaths, you can cut those out. It's really simple that you can do in like Audacity. So I try to recommend it. It takes maybe like a minute or two to like take them out every once in a while. So
Having a suite of I've built it like macros in my own audio editing to do really simple stuff like that. You don't want to make it sound alien, right?
No.
Right.
Like in my booth, I have like it gets a little. There's just a certain frequency, but I do something to shelve off that, and but that's about all I really need to do. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're in it, you know, and you're not submitting something that's like, I did it. Told us not to do that, but I did it. So yeah, just don't obsess over it, but you know, you want to professional.
Yeah.
Especially
Every single one of us have had to do very minor editing for our stuff. Meagan, who does audiobooks, you know, does 10 hours worth of it. I just like to make sure my voice is loud enough that it's prominent without being overbearing, and I take out every single one of my mouth clicks.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely click. There's click removers that can do that. It's pretty good.
They help, but I still go through.
Do you
all my
you edit out all the breaths obviously in the audiobooks, right? Do you ever think about just like keeping those and just making a one long thing of just your breaths and then putting it online for like ASMR or something?
A supercut.
There is a Patreon.
would pay off my college bills.
This mouth click demo.
I love that ASMR
people-
is a thing now, though.
There are people that have like very
We're going to
good
call it
careers
only
just for
clicks.
mouth clicks and breathing.
Right. Hey. 13 plus.
No, I have misophonia. Please stop.
Okay,
my job to
and that's
remove this.
time, everybody. I think, as we're closing up here, make sure you get a screenshot of this if you can, or just a quick picture. These are the free resources we were talking about. I want to be a voiceactor.com. There's a great book and audiobook by Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt. I have to point out, it's so good, it's on Audible, and you hear Yuri Lowenthal go, "Oh, I messed that up. Let me do that over again." And it's in the final audiobook. For those of you non-union and are ready to start playing, there's a great Twitter account called VA Casting Read Sheet, which is great. I am putting up our VO plugs and contacts for those of you who don't want to talk to me afterwards, get my business card or one of our others so that you can do some VO coaching and things like that. We got like 2 minutes left. What are final words of wisdom about dealing with nerves and the great big bad that is auditioning?
A lot of us still feel the same way, so you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we do this professionally and make a living, and we still get nervous before auditions, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, most importantly, have fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that, I literally have a sign in my booth that says "Have fun" because you
Enjoy
get
yourself.
so caught up in the career and the work of it that you forget to have fun, and you might even need to book this role so you can pay your rent or whatever. It doesn't become art; it becomes a job.
Yeah, it becomes a need, and they can hear that. Casting directors
they
can
hear desperation for
need.
sure.
Yeah.
And so if there's a moment in your life where you're feeling maybe that, I'm just not quite there yet, don't push yourself.
Don't be
Give
desperate.
yourself space
Don't be
and time and room.
Don't be desperate.
You know, and when you feel it, you'll feel it. And when you get in there and do it. And you know what? We all throw these things into a giant black void. We never hear back, you know, on a lot of the auditions we do. But if you're happy with it, that's all that effing matters.
The conversion rate is something insane, like 1 to 2% of the jobs that you audition for, you'll book or hear back.
Be proud of the work you've done for yourself. You're auditioning basically for your own satisfaction, and that should be fun. and that's where you need to be.
I should have thought to add in, like, these are free mental health resources,
Yeah.
because you need to make sure you have that in order for this kind of work.
Plushies, hot tea.
TakeThis.com.
Yeah. Okay, I do want to make a special plug, of course, to Navas. They will be down on the 3rd floor if you want to come over, say hello, and get access to all of their amazing resources they have available.
Thank God for Nava.
I just want to thank you all for coming to this panel. We'll be outside, a few of us, to say hello afterwards. But the main thing I want to say is, wherever you are in your voiceover journey, or as a storyteller, an artist, whatever, you may not always be ready, but you are always worthy, and you are always enough. Thank you guys so much for an amazing panel.
And I have a quick plug. I've obviously been doing more producing now, so a show, I don't know if any of you have heard of it, it's called Gamers. Under the Journey Quest family. We are making our last and final installation called Gamers 4 Darkness Falls, which we're going to start doing pre-production in that actually in 2 weeks. So, there's going to be casting calls that we do. So if anyone's interested in being involved, just answer the casting calls.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much, PAX West. Have a great rest of your day.